Yeah, that's what we received today. And I know that Thailand Braid does not ship like that. And everything that we normally get from them is overnighted. So this was supposed to get here on Saturday, right? And today is Monday, and it finally came in. We've got 2,000 yards of the 12 strand right there. Looks like it's undamaged.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta line. I'ma call up the whole team.
Oh, that ain't good. 1,250 yards of the 30, but it doesn't have the tape on there, so I don't know. I won't know until I actually down spool it and find out what the yardage count is on that. And then we've got 150 pound, 2,500 yards, which is good because we have a customer that wanted that for an 80 wide that we're going to be filling up. So looking forward to that one. Now we've got another customer that bought us the reaction tackle right here. It's a 16 strand, 130 pound, 2,500 yards. So wow, this will be cool. I don't know if I've messed with reaction tackle in the hollow core. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. I've been dealing with a lot of braids and stuff like that. His 80 wide was also dropped off to us. Man, that is VEA beautiful. Oh, that's gonna look sweet. That's gonna look real sweet. Ooh, that is yeah. Go there. That. So he's pulling that out today. Got some spools, some spinning reels that I got to do with those. Got another box there. This one is so we got 80 pound of the tight line. It looks like it was attempted to be spooled on and got spooled off. I don't know. We'll have to talk to him about it. Yeah, but we wasn't taking any chances with the reel. Cool. Actually, I don't even, I don't need to undo the whole thing. I'll just take out the top over here. It is a Pen Slammer 8500 that we're going to spool off the 80 pound and do something with it. I know I've got the notes there, but I need to check it. waiting on this one to come back for Mr. J. Carmichael. That'll be 6 reels, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 reels that I got to get spooled up, and it looks like we're offset there a little bit. Yes, we are. There we go. All right, so real quick, guys, I just wanted to say happy birthday to my son. Today is Monday, June 19th, which is my son Nicholas. It's his birthday today, guys. He is 17 years old, so I'd like for everybody to wish him a happy birthday and best wishes. Son, you are an amazing young man. You have developed a great personality, brilliant in so many respects, and very respectful young man, guys. I am totally humbled by the way you carry yourself, the way you address people, the way you carry on with life, son. You know, I know you understand it may not always be the best of situations, but I've seen where you totally, really don't let it hold you down, son, and that's a huge, huge bonus for you in life, because not everything is promised, but I do see where you are just gonna, when that life gives you lemons, you're definitely gonna turn around and make some sweet lemonade and just rock and roll it, guys. So again, son, happy birthday. I am truly humbled to see the young man you are becoming and where you're going in life. So again, Nicholas, I love you, son. Have a blessed birthday, and stop growing. No, just kidding. He's big. He's taller than I am. Here's a picture of us this weekend on the pier and stuff like that. And it was a great opportunity for us to spend some time and get some fishing in. And obviously, he was a great hit on the pier, talking with all kinds of fishermen out there, beginners and guys that are returning, because, you know, we met out on the pier, helped them, you know, change up their game, improve their knowledge on fishing and stuff like that. So it was a great opportunity for me to meet a bunch of fishermen, and also too, you know, hang out with the guys that have met me, you know, years ago and are still in it and still looking for the next major catch. And it was awesome. It was pretty awesome. So again, guys, thank you for sticking with it and staying fishing and stuff like that. And I'm super stoked to see y'all out there still having a great time. Now, on that note, this weekend was a very I saw a great opportunity to help out a group of fishermen out there on the pier. However, as everybody will know, there are just some people that do want help and will take in any knowledge and looking forward to it. And then there are others that, you know, sky could be blue, you could tell them it's blue and they will think it's purple. So that's kind of the situation I ran into this weekend. We had a group of young fishermen that were out there setting up for shark, droning baits and stuff like that. I mean, they had their gear together and stuff like that, which is awesome. You know, it's good to see the next generation of fishermen getting out there and putting it down. Now, the only thing was, while they were setting up, you know, I am a fisherman myself. I've been doing shark fishing for the better part of, well, I got into shark fishing when I was 12, so we're looking at 31 years of shark fishing. I got into heavy big rig shark fishing when I was 22 years old. I am 43 now. So yeah, that's a lot of years under my belt of big rig shark fishing. I mean, that's kayaking baits way before they had drones, way before they had anything else. And now it's jet skis, it's drones and kayaks and submersible, or, you know, little RC boats and stuff like that. There's so many advantages to all the new fishermen to be able to do shark fishing. Awesome, cool. However, there's still a lot of knowledge that needs to be learned before they can actually become really successful at what they do, and also too, to be able to carry on the name for future generations. I mean, obviously, other fishermen are gonna look to them for knowledge because they are doing what they're doing. It's interesting. Shark fishing is awesome, you know what I mean? However, they were still lacking on some stuff, and, you know, I gave them time to situate and stuff like that, because when you kayak out baits or you drone baits or whatever you do, you got to encompass the current. And I know firsthand, you know, when taking out a bait and not knowing which way the current is going can cause problems. boat out lines, your line drifting way off to the right or the left. And the bad thing about fishing is, and this is something you cannot judge from looking at the water, and that's the current and how bad it really is. Yes, you have wind, you have waves, and yeah, you can pretty much judge that, but at the same time, I've been out there when it's totally calm and the current was ripping. I mean, we had to run our baits like literally at about a 25-degree angle off the beach in order to keep them from drifting off. If we ran anything less than a 25, I mean, even at a 45, the baits were getting swept out because of the current. Now, that's on the beach. We had nobody to our right or to our left, so we were able to run our lines like that, but all of our lines were like that. And I've done a video showing how we did that, you know, at our 20,000 subscriber mark giveaway. I also showed y'all how we were running baits initially, and then after the cutoffs, we learned that the sharks were a lot closer, so we started running our baits in that direction, and that's when we started hammering on the sharks. That is something that you learn, you know, being out there firsthand and doing it. Now, with the pier this weekend, there was no way to know there was a current out there. And I know this because I was casting out 10-ounce, 1/16 gauge surf weights, and they were not drifting at all. I mean, they were really getting stuck on there. So it told me there was some kind of current because they were getting buried very, very well. But it didn't tell me if it was running right or left. My weights were sticking. As soon as the cast landed, it was good. However, when they were droning out their baits, 2 of their lines went way left. And I was like, hey, I understand, you know, the wind, the current, this, that, you know, give them a little time, get situated, get their lines in, start following it through, you know, set up their rods where they needed to be. However, that did not happen. And I'm going to explain a little bit more because, you know, their retrospect was, well, you don't know how to cast straight. Well, let's go to the board real quick, guys. All right, so I've done a little mock-up of Caldwell Pier. It is similar to Bob Hall Pier, and the bricks are 3 foot by 5 foot. From the front handrail to the back handrail is 16 feet. I remember the length this way, but I don't remember it right now. We actually counted out the bricks, and we were really good at doing that. The reason why we know these are 3 foot by 5 foot was because 20 years ago we were pulling up so many bull reds on the pier that we got tired of busting out the measuring tape to measure them, and we actually measured out the brick and found out it's 3 foot this way and 5 foot that way. So when it came to sharks, you know, we could throw it on the brick that way and pretty much estimate really quick if we weren't that concerned about inches that, oh, okay, it's 6 foot or whatever, 7 foot, and go from there. However, for bull reds, we use the short side right here. Occasionally we went to the long side because they were in the 40 to 50 inch range, and it warranted that. So we learned that from actually fishing the pier for thousands of hours, and then applying the knowledge of that, and then, you know, coming to quicker ways to bring in the fish and release them quickly, and just kind of keep mental notes of what we've been catching, you know, for, you know, our friends that come out, hey, what have y'all been catching? What kind of bait you're using? Which way the current is going? You know, just everything, because we want to help out our fellow anglers. Now, this is where it started getting a bit on the side of where my knowledge came into play, or would have come into play had they listened. And again, too, like I said, at the time I was casting out, or, you know, well, let me backtrack a little bit. I'm going to go with a different color. I'm going to go with bright orange. They were droning out baits, and they got several in this direction over here. And then the last 2, they went like this. Okay? So at that point, and even in my long video, there was a spot where I cast it out and said, oh no, like, because I could see my weight, even though I was going straight for their drone. I almost took out their drone on cast. So I stopped it, and, you know, backlashing the reel, went and sorted it and this and that. But, you know, that wasn't an issue. I should have been paying attention on that, but I wouldn't say I forgot the drone was there, but I didn't expect it to be back that quickly. Like, I saw it going out or whatever and dealt with what I was doing. I was talking with the guys there on the pier. So yes, I should have looked at that. That would have been my bad if I had hit the drone. But I saw it, and I was able to stop it and save, you know, they've hit their gear, because that's the worst thing I would have ever wanted to do, is hit, damage other people's tackle. That's just not why I'm out there to fish. I'm out there so they can enjoy, I can enjoy, everybody can enjoy the pier and what it has to offer. However, so now you see that, and then again too, you see these bricks. All right, so on these bricks, they are literally lined up like this. You know what I mean? All the way across the pier. So you can see, when you land, what you do is you step back and you look down at the floor and you look at that concrete and you look at where your weight has landed and it's stuck. Is it to the right of where you landed? Is it to the left, or is it straight in front of you? At that point, you make a judgment call. Okay, I need to walk right or left for this one, or I need to walk right for this one. Okay. That's how you properly set your gear. Obviously, for me, I don't care if I have my rod, let me do this in another color. If I cast out in the middle of the pier and my rod's right there, I don't care if somebody else casts a rod and it goes to they go this way and they set it right here. Or they cast out this way and they set it right here. I don't care. They can have one on either side. I don't care, as long as the line ain't crossways and set right there. And I hope y'all can see that. Let me see the colors there. Yeah, y'all can see that. So with that being said, how about that? Let me use a wider angle on it. Okay. So again, if they cross my line and set their rod over here, good to go. If they cross this way and they set it right here, good to go. I don't care. Whether it's a big rig, whether it's a cast out, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, where their fishing rods are in comparison to mine. But that's my frame of thought, guys, because I understand that just because I have a fishing rod in this area right here, I do not own all this area over here. So when I cast out, whether I miscast and I cast to the right or I cast to the left, I'm going to find out where that weight lands, and I'm going to set my rod right directly in front of it, using the bricks as a guide on it. Because there's no way you can sit there and look at your line and say, oh, it's straight. There's just no way. You have to use what's available on the pier, and it's these lines right there from the concrete. They're a big help. You know what I mean? Nice and straight, because they're concrete, 3 foot by 5 foot. So after I crossed their line several times, because the distance I was casting, let me backtrack a little bit. There was carts all right here. There was an open spot right here. So what I was doing, because there was fishermen from here that way, there was other fishermen taking up that space. So I had literally from the light to this area to cast out, because they had this whole corner to themselves. Cool deal. There was quite a few of them. Awesome. Between me and my guys that were coming in and stuff like that, we started settling in that spot. Yes, every fisherman would like to have their gear all in one little space. That's fine. If it doesn't work out that way, and I have a rod here, a rod here, a rod here, I'm cool with that. I really am. And other fishermen that have fished around me are cool with it too, because if they're catching or I'm catching, we're all working together. None of us own any section of that pier. If there's a hole, there's a spot for you to be able to put a fishing rod. However, when they left these lines like this, I was casting, and I also too, let me draw that in another color. When I was casting, I had some where I could go straight, but you can only put a certain amount of fishing rods in that area. I was also casting out for my son and for the guys that were there that were with me, that were still getting gear ready, and I was helping them get rods out. So as I was casting out, they would land like this with the wind. And the farther I get to get my rods over here, because remember, I still have from this whole area right here, this way to fish, because I wasn't trying to move further this way, because seeing that line like that, I knew that this was a no good spot because of that. I didn't know how far out it was from the angle here to know, okay, I can only cast 50 yards or 80 yards or 100 yards before I got there. The only way I knew was by casting out and it landing. And obviously when it caught their line, as it comes over and I saw it land on their line, I would stop the reel. What ends up happening when you do that, when the line is in the water and you catch it and it does this number, if it's pulling over here, this line is going to slide this way. You see it all the time, because once the weight hits on that, it's going to slide us into the direction that I'm pulling it. So it makes it look like I cast it way over here. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I'm still within that area there, but when I go to catch my line, you know, as soon as I saw it was over the line, I didn't even crank. I walked straight over there, took my rod around, pulled it that way, and I would wait for it to land. A few times, yes, I did land over here, but I'm an experienced fisherman to know I'm not going to leave my rods right in the middle of theirs. I could tell they didn't want anybody in this area here. So because of that, I pulled my rod in, went back over here, and I would recast. And I would recast until I got it in that little area. But I learned that I could not fish near the light pole or here because the angle of their big rig line was too great to block anything out. So not only did they have this whole area was a red zone because these two lines that were going this way. Now they want to claim that I don't know how to cast, that I can't catch my line back, and I just saw another one. Oh, the only reason I caught those 3 lines is because I intentionally did it. I'm sorry, boss. I was not born last night, or I wasn't born at night, and I definitely wasn't born last night, to know that you can control a bait that's already out there to make it cross over 3 lines. I had 3 lines, let me do this, that were over here. They were not over his gear. But because his angle that he had left it, when he pulled it in, he swiped out 3 of my fishing lines that were out there. They got all tangled up. We had to spend time undoing it. And even then, he didn't even want to help. He just stood there like this. You know, it looked like he wanted to cut my lines and be done with it kind of deal, rather than deal with the issue that he left his gear in the wrong spot. Instead of bringing it over here and reeling straight in, or leaving it there, so that way, even then, no matter where I cast or anybody else casts, nobody would have crossed his line. So with that, guys, the whole gist of this, guys, is these concretes that are on the floor let you know whether you're going right or you're going left when your line is finally done. When you're kayaking out, like I said, you don't know the current, I don't know the current. I don't pretend to know all that. What I do know is, once it does land, what I need to do in order to make sure my line is not preventing other fishermen from fishing the pier. Whether they can cast straight or they don't cast straight, that's a null and void problem when you're creating a problem right there. So if they had moved their lines over here when they reeled in, they wouldn't have caught these 3 lines, and everybody would have been happy. I could have kept casting. All this area would have been opened up, because for one thing, yes, they did have other fishing rods, but they never messed with them. They only messed with the droning and stuff like that. And so basically with 5 rods, they had literally this whole area of fishing pier blocked off for those 5 rods, which is a big no-no, because if there's a space, there's a spot for people to put a fishing rod. Hands down, you know, especially if they're droned out there, we're way out there, and we're only casting, you know, max 125 yards or whatever. There were 300 to 400 yards out, maybe more. I don't know. I wasn't there when the drone would drop it and they could say, however, because I was doing my own thing. I was getting rods ready. I was getting our little area ready for the rest of the guys that were coming in, bringing our jet skis, because that was the other thing. I had jet skis on the way, and I went over and I asked them, I said, hey man, you know, think you could probably get one of my baits out? And they said, hey, no, we have 2 drones and the batteries only last for 2 baits. And we got, you know, 4 guys here or whatever. And I was like, hey, cool, no worries. You know, I totally understand that, because I've had guys with drones and we have already learned that they only have a certain amount of capabilities. And even before that, I'd asked them, you know, if they had extra batteries, this and that. And, you know, and hey, you can't force somebody to help you. You can't do it. You can't expect it either. So if they say no, it's no. Cool. I understand that. I was just glad to be out there on the pier fishing, because I have not been out on a shark fishing trip in a very long time. That doesn't mean that I forgot how to cast, or how to guide my cast, or how to read the pier in order to make sure my rods are not blocking out somebody else's fishing. When you're doing this, you're in the wrong from the get-go, guys. And you cannot sit there and say, oh, all these other fishermen needed, cast straight. Even casting straight, it was proven that this line was wrong because all three of these rods that were out there were in the water, not over your line, but you drug them in. Already, guys, there's so much proof right there in front of you, but you were unwilling to see it. I'm sorry. It could have really turned into a horrible situation if I wanted to keep at it and keep adamant, to my guns in it. But I was there celebrating my son's birthday, Father's Day, fishing with, good people, with my teammates, wanting to meet more people and fish with them. At the end of the day, whether we caught fish, we didn't. I was happy to be on the pier, hands down. It was a horrible weekend, didn't catch any fish. We didn't catch any sharks. We had cutoffs, but you know what? I was blessed to be out there to spend time with a great group of guys, spend time with other fishermen that have met me out on Caldwell Pier, which I've helped them land big fish. I've helped them cast or learn how to cast better and control their cast to direction and stuff like that. I've probably taught in the last 20 years at least 10,000 people of how to cast. And you may think, oh, that's an exaggerated number, but there's been times where I've actually done videos and I taught 15 different people in a matter of hours on a pier of how to cast and improve their distance. Now, I just started my channel a few years ago. So there's a whole gap of over 15 years of fishing where I've been helping people every single time I was out there. And I used to go out there every single weekend from Friday morning all the way till Sunday doing that same thing of teaching people how to cast, how to improve their cast, how to read the pier, to learn all this basic fishing knowledge. This is basic stuff, guys. This is stuff that every fisherman should know and understand, so that way when they go out there and they want to fish along a lot of other fishermen, that everybody works together. At the end of the day, it's working together. It's enjoying yourself, enjoying what nature has to offer, and enjoying each other's company. If you don't like fishing near other people, don't go to a pier. Hands down, don't go to a pier and expect to think that you own this whole piece of real estate. You don't, guys. We don't. The state owns it, the county owns it, and they could tell us, hey, you know what, we're going to close it down or whatever. However, taxpayer dollars have paid for all of that, so we practically own it, kind of deal. But when I'm out there, like I said, I don't care if you're to the right of me, to the left of me. I don't care. You can have one rod, mine, yours, mine. I don't care. I don't care. I want somebody to catch a fish. I want somebody to catch a big fish, and I will do anything I can to help them if they want help. There are other guys, no, hey, stand back. Hey, bro, it's your fish. Whether you lose it, you land it, that's on you because you chose to push our help away. It's not mandatory that we help you. We can sit back and not offer our assistance, period. But we're not that type of fisherman. We're not that type of team. We want to help you. We want to help them if you want it. If you don't want it, hey, no harm, no foul. It's on you. We'll sit back and enjoy the show, whether you land it or you don't land it. But that's the way we live life, guys. We want to help you. We want to share the knowledge. We want to improve. And don't get me wrong, I don't know everything. I've already admitted to a whole bunch of things that I don't know, but every time I go out there, I do learn. Current, wind, what the water is doing and stuff like that. I'm not in the water, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But by using little techniques of casting your bait, paying attention to which way your debris in the water is floating, or which way your line is being pulled and stuff like that,